I just wanted to say thank you, first of all, to those of you who wish me well, wish me prayers and positive thoughts, and acknowledge that I was sick and that God is with me, and all of that I appreciate. I'm a little bit off the bubble and I'm not talking perfectly well, so please forgive me. Lori will be sure to give you an update on all my conditions and specifics and stuff like that. But I just wanted to share with you the revelation that I had apart from God, because God is not speaking to me quite the way He does. And I'll get to that in a second. But I got to start with the first night that I was in the hospital and I realized that I'd had a stroke and I was paralyzed and I was depressed. First night I was very depressed and I was not hearing from God at all. Either good or bad, I was praying and I was not hearing from God. And I wanted to die. And I purposed to die. And it wasn't death and woe is poor me as I'm going to be gone, as much as I have got to leave this body and communicate with God and ask Him what's going on. And then I told my wife, I will resurrect myself 1 to 3 days later. But you've got to leave, you've got to go now. I had to actually kick her out, and she didn't like going. But I was going to purpose to kill myself that night and visit God. Did not work. I tried my very best. I tried the only thing that was available to me was holding my breath. Didn't work. So the next day, I kind of got over that. I still was not hearing from God. But as I was speaking with somebody about their faith, it occurred to me that somebody else, Job, for instance, went through enormous trials, all of his sons, his property, and eventually his own health taken from him to the point where he was at death's door. And like Job, he was not hearing from God. He was not hearing good nor bad. He was just suffering from the enemy and had nothing but his faith to go on. Now, I'm not comparing myself to the awesomeness of Job, but to say that, like Job, I was forced to go through this by myself with my faith alone. And I still am to the most part. So the revelations that I've picked up from breadcrumbs and stories and confirmed prayers or from words of other people separate from me. So I determined that I'm going to remain faithful. Even though I can't hear from God, for whatever reason, I'm going to endure this. I thought it was just a test like Job. I'm being tested and God's not talking to me. He's turned me over to the enemy. Whatever. But as I sat and I pondered my first day at the rehab center, I spent 4 days at the hospital. I told you I could not get out of there soon enough. I was just excited to be at the rehab center. And my first day, I told my wife when she got back, it's occurred to me that the Lord has called me, because let me back up. I reflected that all of the promises of God are yea and amen. He has given me health and life and saved my soul, but a part of saving my soul is saving my body. And health is mine by divine right. And I live in health. I live all the time. And so I was recounting, despite my failings, God is faithful. Despite my failings, His work is perfect. And He purchased my healing, and I live that healing. There's no reason this sickness and this infirmity that I experience now is a lie. And I was like, what is it, Lord? Why am I experiencing a lie when I know that you purchased this healing? And it occurred to me that I'm not appointed to suffer. I'm called to a greater job of reaching some people, one or many people in this facility exclusively need the healing touch of Jesus. And to do that, God saw fit to allow me to suffer a real stroke. All the joys and the bummers that go with having a stroke and being paralyzed on your right side and not blind in half your vision and all that stuff that comes with it, which I am, and I feel like a 5-year-old when I try and write something down. But I want you to know that it changed everything. When I realized that I'm merely suffering a temporary thing, that I do in fact have healing. But just temporarily, He turned me loose to the enemy to suffer a stroke. But His plan all along was to reach the lost and deliver the good news to those who need to hear it. And so now it is an adventure. I'm here at this facility, entering rehab, and I'm a joy to everyone to be around. I am looking from day one for the souls that God has called me to. I don't know if they're Hindi, I don't know if they're black, I don't know if they're white, male or female. Could be all of them, could be one. But I'm looking for the people that God has called me to do the mighty work that He's called me to do. And then when He's done, I get to be done. And I guarantee you, I will have the story on the exit side of this when I recover to tell you, to confirm that this is true, how wonderful God is and how great it was for the opportunity to suffer to this day they still don't know why I'm having a stroke. I shouldn't have a stroke. I should be healthy. I'm in no danger than most people, and it doesn't make any sense. And so I shouldn't have a stroke, but I did. And now it's an adventure, and it's fun. And I will get to, with all the joy in my heart, to suffer and lead people to Christ. And when I'm done, and I have that notch in my side of winning the souls to lost, I get to be done and return to health. And so I'll tell you about that on the other side.